Republican strategist Alice Stewart and Democratic strategist Karen Finney are here with me now. So, Alice, Iowa votes first, followed by New Hampshire. Nikki Haley made some comments about this that her opponents are seizing upon. Take a listen.
You know Iowa starts it. You know that you correct it. You know that you continue to go.
I think it was incredibly disrespectful to Iowans to say somehow their votes need to be, quote, corrected. I think she's trying to provide an excuse for her not doing well.
All right. So she was talking to a New Hampshire audience, and there is this history of New Hampshire voting differently than Iowa, whether it's Iowa going for Obama, New Hampshire going for Hillary, or Iowa going for Ted Cruz. You remember that? And New Hampshire going for Trump. There is this history, but what do you make of it?
Look, I think, you look at historically, Iowa generally, whoever wins the Iowa caucus doesn't necessarily mean they're going to be the nominee for the party and certainly in the general election. But you still have to love and respect those Iowa voters.
Sure.
You have to be out there. Right now, 11 days out, we're in the 11th hour, you're gripping and grinning with those people. You're not giving them the backhand. And I think that was a mistake. Clearly, they're looking at where they feel they're going to land in Iowa, potentially third place, but they are doing strong in New Hampshire and South Carolina. She's really playing to that audience. But you have to remember, everything you say is on television and being recorded, and the people in Iowa are certainly going to hear that. But I think right now she's banking on doing well in Iowa and doing a strong finish in New Hampshire and South Carolina. But the reality is, you never want to take Iowa for granted, and you certainly don't want to insult them.
But, there's also a competition between Iowa and New Hampshire that goes back, for a long time. So I actually view that as she knows her chances in New Hampshire are better. She's doing much better in the polls. DeSantis is trying to make his stand in Iowa. And so this was a way to kind of juice the electorate a little bit, to say, come on, y'all, I know you can turn out for me. I mean, we've seen that dynamic as well. So I agree with you. I wouldn't advise, sloughing off any voters at this point, but I think she was trying to kind of appeal to New Hampshire voters and say, come on, I'm counting on you.
Yeah, and if there are any voters in Iowa that were kind of on the fence, I think they probably may have dropped in a different backyard after that statement.
Yeah. We'll see. So, Alice, for the first time in the 2024 election cycle, Trump is out with a new ad attacking Nikki Haley in New Hampshire, giving you an idea of how good her momentum is in New Hampshire. Here's a little clip of it.
Haley and Biden oppose Trump's border wall, confirm warnings of terrorists sneaking in through our southern border. Yet Haley joined Biden in opposing Trump's visitor ban from terrorist nations. Haley's weakness puts us in grave danger.
Okay, well, the visitor ban was the Muslim ban, which was pretty
The
unpopular by
visitor
a lot of people. But in terms of in terms of Haley opposing Trump's border wall, Haley says that's not true, that the Trump people are taking comments out of context. She said the border wall would not be enough. But this is clear evidence that he sees her as a threat.
Clearly, look, Trump's never let the facts get in the way of a good ad, and this is no exception to that. Look, he is obviously seeing her as a threat in New Hampshire, and that is why he's putting this ad out there. If you notice, up until now, his main attacks and ads and pushback on social media have been against President Biden, thinking he is going to mop the floor in the primary and take on Joe Biden, which is a smart strategy. But if you see them having to go after and spend good hard money on ads against another Republican, he clearly sees her as a threat in New Hampshire. And if I were the Haley campaign, I would say bring it on and double down on this issue.
There's another ad that I want to show you, also airing, I think this is a digital ad from Chris Christie. Pretty interesting. Take a listen.
I have an admission to make. 8 years ago, when I decided to endorse Donald Trump for president, I did it because he was winning. And I did it because I thought I could make him a better candidate and a better president. Well, I was wrong. I made a mistake.
What do you think?
It's too late, Chris. Come on now. That's what I would say to him. Nobody's buying it. I mean, he made a valiant effort to try to see if he could make some inroads with a slice of the electorate that was in the GOP primary that was open to that message. There aren't enough voters. Clearly, it's not working. He hasn't gained momentum. He had a small bump early on, and now, it's nice. I think it's a lovely ad, but it's just not working at this point. I don't think it's gonna. I think what we're gonna see at the end of New Hampshire is a lot more calls for him to get out.
Yeah, and there's a lot of Republicans that share that sentiment. They have buyer's remorse. They voted
Yeah.
for Trump once and possibly twice, thinking that he would grow into the office, he would tone down the divisive rhetoric, and he didn't, and people are looking to turn the page. I do think the best chance for people that share that sentiment with Governor Christie is let's find another candidate and the party writ large. One candidate, winnow the field after Iowa and New Hampshire, and let's have a good head-to-head competition between a non-Trump candidate and Donald Trump, and then we have a fighting chance.
And who you like, Haley?
I'm for anyone that can take on Joe Biden and win, and I don't have a dog in this hunt in terms of who the non-Trump candidate should be, but if you're looking at head-to-heads against Biden, most of the polls show Nikki Haley has a better chance in a
Yeah,
general.
and I think, again, we're seeing that, yes, many Republicans may feel that way, but that is not who is coming out to vote in the primary. Unless there's some, crazy thing happens in New Hampshire, so far it hasn't seemed that message has really caught on enough to motivate people.
All right, Karen and Alice, thanks so much. Good to have you here.